Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Kendi Olale. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed that there will need a bit gentle on sentiment in the execution of his renewed mandate aimed at taking Nigeria to the next level. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president gave the hint while receiving members of the Federal Executive Council and the leadership of the nation's public service on a congratulatory visit. The United States of America has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on his re-election for another term of 4 years. This is contained in a statement from the U.S. Secretary of State, Michael Pompeo. Details with Musa Babali.
United States Secretary of State Michael Pompeo says the U.S. notes the assessment of the international and domestic observer missions affirming the overall credibility of Nigeria's presidential election in which President Muhammadu Buhari was declared winner. Pompeo, in a statement, says the United States remains committed to working with Nigeria to achieve greater peace and prosperity for both nations. The Secretary of State also congratulates all other candidates for their peaceful participation in the electoral process, appealing to all Nigerians to ensure successful state elections next week. Nigeria and the United States have a bilateral trade and investment framework agreement which attracts more than $9 billion. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigerians in Canada have described the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari as a reflection of the electorate's belief in integrity and the value of diligent service to humanity. Here is Joy Osago's conversation with some Nigerians in Ontario.
Integrity of the president that I think most people were fascinated about. If you read all the report that has been coming up from the diaspora or from the global leaders, it's always been integrity wins over questionable opposition. The idea of associating corruption with Nigeria is going down, and with this election, it seems like it was a test for Nigeria. Right now, you don't hear 419 anymore associated with Nigeria.
It's only right that we should all, irrespective of how we feel, put disagreements aside and work with him to make a success of this second term he has. What I would say to President Muhammadu Buhari is to think back to his campaign promises, the platform on which he campaigned, which caused people to vote for him, and remember what complaints people had about the past 4 years of his leadership. Take all the feedback into consideration and be compassionate in his leadership. Having had 4 years in his back pocket with his team, it should be easier for him now to react faster, more expediently, and more strategically.
I would like to congratulate President Buhari on his re-election to office. I would like to see a government, that considers inclusiveness as a key element, in its operation of the country.
There should be cooperation among the new elected senators, the representative, to cooperate with our President Buhari for this new second term.
The changes I want to see now that we've passed the stage of election. One is security. The government needs to focus more on security, securing the lives of the citizens. They need to invest in police.
Members of the Forum of Presidential Candidates have also congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on the victory over his re-election to steer the affairs of the country. A statement signed by the chairman Presidential Forum, Shitu Mohammed Kabir, says the victory is a call to promote a favorable atmosphere for Nigeria to experience positive turnaround in the economic and infrastructural development, and also to regain integrity in the eye of the world. The group prayed for divine strength and wisdom for the president. Governor Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State has also congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and the All Progressives Congress family for the overwhelming victory recorded in the last Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections. A statement signed by the Director General of Press Affairs, Abdullahi Bego, says President Buhari's victory and election is a clear statement that Nigerians have been on board with the policies and directions of the APC administration over the last 4 years and are confident that the president would take the country to the next level. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has concluded arrangements to conduct supplementary elections on the 9th of March in some areas where National Assembly elections were not conducted or returned not made. The supplementary election will be conducted along with the Governorship, State House of Assembly and the FCT Area Council election. A statement signed by the Independent National Electoral Commissioner, Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, after a meeting by the INEC chairman with resident electoral commissioners, promised to meet with the acting Inspector General of Police on the conduct of some security personnel, which led to the harassment of INEC ad hoc staff and other officials. The meeting considered last Saturday's election as generally peaceful, as it met the required standard. For residents of Cross River State, the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari is a victory for democracy, which would impact more lives and reposition the country. Achibong Bassett reports that they joined all the Nigerians in congratulating President Muhammadu Buhari for his well-deserved victory at the polls.
President Muhammadu Buhari won the 2019 presidential election, pulling over 15 million votes to defeat his closest contender and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. While congratulating the president on his re-election, the stakeholders expressed the hope that the next 4 years will be the best in the history of Nigeria.
Nigerians have made a choice between integrity and convenience, and I think they have opted for the path of character. With character, we'll be able to entrench new values, and there's no society that has developed without values.
Apart from the fact that it's traditional base, he held on to them. He has gone ahead to enjoy the support of a wider range of Nigerians.
They also joined the president in commiserating with those families who lost their loved ones while serving their fatherland.
All and sundry have seen the president in this new and emerging dispensation as the one who can lead us to the next level.
Those who are dissatisfied with the results of the election are advised to seek redress by following due process. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
And some agricultural reports. The diversification policy of the federal government is to be strengthened in the second term of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Aldo Ogbe, says the administration will further push the country to be among the world's largest exporters of agricultural produce. Musa Babali reports.
The agricultural policy and programs under the Buhari administration have been ranked among the best in Africa. Agricultural economists identified the administration's policy on self-sufficiency in staples, financial support to smallholder farmers, and input supply as a major achievement.
This present administration has been supporting rice production or general agricultural production in Nigeria. It's not only about rice, it's about virtually all the commodities in the country.
Nigeria has produced 20 million metric tons, which The highest demand for maize is from Poultry Association, and their demand is only 8 million tons.
Minister of Agriculture Adu Ogbe says all these will be strengthening in the next level of the administration.
This means continuity. It means that the farmers are going to continue to receive attention from government. It means that wealth is being slowly but steadily transferred to the rural areas. It means that importation of food will continue to reduce. It means that rural farmers, mainly rural farmers, including big-time farmers, are beginning to enjoy the market which belongs to them.
Records of the Ministry of Agriculture indicates that Nigeria maintains the lead in rice, maize, sorghum and cowpea in Africa. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now the Nigerians have extended the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari by another 4 years. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu says Nigerians should expect completion and inauguration of more water and sanitation projects in the coming days. The minister was speaking to NT News in an exclusive interview in Abuja, said the ministry is committed to its belief that projects meant to benefit the public should be made to serve their purpose. Suleiman Adamu said in addition to more than 7 projects already completed and inaugurated since the inception of his administration, many more are on the verge of completion.
For almost 2 decades, there has not been any project commissioned by this ministry until we came. Right now, I think about 6 or 7 projects have been finished and they are just awaiting commissioning. But of course, this is campaign season now. We can't move around to commission. Maybe after the elections, we'll continue to do that. But we also have quite a number of projects. You know, after the audit, we programmed our projects. There are projects that will be finished in 2017 under our roadmap, which we did. We slated some for 2018. We'll commission them. And then we have some that are coming in 2019 and even 2020. And then once those ones are done, then we can now focus our resources and select another bunch of projects that we think should be continued. And you know, that's why you would have noticed that up till now, since we've been here 3 years, we have shied away from doing any large-scale project in this ministry.
The Water Resources Minister assured that the implementation of the Wash Action Plan launched by President Buhari last year will also continue in full swing, particularly to end open defecation in the country. You watch Nationwide on NTA. More news when we return. To stay with us.
Our medical mission has finally done it, ensuring that the prevention of cancer and cancer-related ailments is available to you right where you are. Our mobile cancer center, also known as Pink Cruise, is equipped with relevant state-of-the-art medical equipment to serve you wherever you are. All you have to do is apply for the Pink Cruise to come to your community or organization by sending a request to info@pinkcruise.org. Remember to suggest 3 alternative dates when you will prefer the Pink Cruise to come to conduct free preventive health care at your doorstep, including checking your body, your eyes, and your teeth. For more information on the Pink Cruise and how to take advantage of it, please log on to www.pinkcruise.org or visit us at the MMM House, number 31 Abode Thomas Street, Surulere, Lagos, or call 0805-633-4288. Mission Pink Cruise, taking wellness to all.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Thank you for staying with us. NEMA receives Libyan returnees. Details of this and other stories with Jennifer in Lagos. Hello, Jennifer. Good to see you.
And welcome to Lagos. The International Organization for Migration is proposing more interventions targeted at solving challenges encountered by communities while creating employment opportunity for returning migrants. With the return of another batch of over 300 voluntary returnees from Libya, The critical question is how they will be absorbed into the system. Michael Olaleye reports that the returnees were received by the officials of the National Emergency Management Agency.
This aircraft with registration number 5A-DMG has 143 Nigerians on board. They are part of the 326 returnees from Libya who could no longer bear the burden of living in pains. While they bask in the euphoria of their newfound freedom, 26-year-old Sonny Oko is still agitated on how his entire 4 years in Libya was spent in jail.
The cell line, they also caught me and they locked me at room. I said I should control my family so that they can pay money for me.
Precious Happy's predicament is worrisome.
I bought Peking for Libya. I bought Peking. Say not my Peking, so na sense Arabu.
While these pains linger, concerned agencies are increasingly worried about how to totally discourage aimless sojourn in the name of greener pasture.
They should not cross the Sahara Desert with all the attendant risks, hazards, and dehumanizing conditions attached to such movements.
What we are doing is to go after the traffickers, get them, prosecute them, and make a statement to the society that human trafficking is evil.
The International Organization for Migration said 12,300 Nigerians have voluntarily returned to the country since the repatriation began in 2017.
More than 7,000 returnees are already accessing different forms of reintegration.
At present, Nigeria has 3 migrant resource centers that offer information to prospective travelers so as not to be victims of pain like Sonny. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Now, a book which re-emphasizes the position that arbitration is within the legislative competence of the National Assembly, particularly matters dealing with treaties and other treaty obligations, has been presented to the public. Titled Handbook on Arbitration and ADR Practice in Nigeria, it is written by 2 distinguished legal practitioners and arbitrators, Tinuade Oyekunle and Bayo Ojo. Vera Chiuba reports.
The 24-chapter book of 521 pages is divided into 2 parts, devoted to arbitration and mediation and other forms of ADR. The book traces the origin of arbitration and other forms of ADR processes from colonial times to the present amid the rapid growth in international and commercial transactions. It espouses the fundamental principles on which commercial arbitration is anchored, drawing attention to the lacuna in the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. One unique feature of the book is the provision of techniques for drafting enforceable arbitration. The book, which also examined the development of mediation and its general principles, acknowledged that mediation is the heartbeat of ADR.
The impact is anybody doing business in Nigeria, we know that we have a law that is modeled after the ancestral model law of commercial arbitration of 2006.
The authors say the book is for posterity.
This particular book, this handbook, has taken account of not only the position of our laws in Nigeria, the laws, international laws too. We have drawn the attention of our members.
The whole idea is to let people be knowledgeable about the process, let students also know, judges also know, and then those who are practitioners, it's a ready companion.
Chairman of the occasion, Arthur Mbanefo, said education policy in Nigeria should advocate writing of books. The book was presented by Mr. Olu Okiewo, an entrepreneur. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Graduates of National Open University now have the opportunity to go for National Youth Service following the amendment of the Act establishing the university. This and other benefits were highlighted by the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Council, Professor Peter Okebukola, at a media briefing in Lagos. Jane Ojuku tells us more.
Prior to the signing of the Now Amendment Act, which has been gazetted and published on the 3rd of December last year, products of the National Open University experienced some forms of discrimination, as many considered now as having lower status than conventional universities. All that is about to change with the Now Amendment Act.
that they now have a vista of opportunities that they didn't have before. For instance, for those who are reading law, it now enables them access after graduation to take on their training in the law school. It also allows those who are eligible to be mobilized for NYSC, to go for NYSC. But for me, what it means is that it elevates the National Open University of Nigeria to the same level in terms of statutes, provisions, as the others.
The chairman of the NOW Council, Professor Peter Okebukola, said NOW will continue to provide quality distant learning education so as to produce globally competitive graduates. Professor Okebukola also commended the National Universities Commission, NUC, for the level of implementation of Ministerial Strategic Plan, which seeks to revitalize Nigerian universities, and urged the federal government to replicate the plan to cover all levels of education. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
Now, those are the stories from Lagos at this hour. Back to Kende in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer. And as Nigerians and the international community continue to discuss the successes and challenges of the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections, guests on Good Morning Nigeria say the nation has again shown that the democratic culture is deepening. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, however, say there are lessons to be learned to enhance subsequent elections. Alika Okpanachi Aroa has details.
The Commission has been given a pass mark on the peaceful conduct of the 2019 Presidential and National Assembly elections, which saw the re-election of President Buhari and members of the National Assembly. For the Minister of Information,
Saturday's election will probably go down in the history of the country as one of the fairest and most credible, given the attention to details, given the adequate security provided throughout the country.
Others also agree the election was largely fair, but there is need to look at areas where there were challenges.
I think there are actually lessons to learn from the organization, the processes of in the 2019 elections.
I must confess once again that we had issues, and as I'm talking to you now, we are looking into those issues, and by the time the next set of elections come on the 9th of March, we are going to see a different conduct of the election.
A good name is better than riches. So in spite of the temptations, people must strive to maintain good names because that is what has given it to Mr. President.
They commended Nigerians for their contribution towards a successful outcome and also appealed to the opposition parties to join hands with the government to move the country forward. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTN.
Obey in Benin has more reactions to President Buhari's victory. Hello, Obey.
Hello, Kainde. Thanks for joining us in Benin. A group of young men from Benue who resides in Asaba, the Delta State capital, have embarked on a solidarity work to Aso Villa in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari for his victory at the polls. Odiri Ogboruaruteri reports that the men have departed Asaba.
These young men came to NTA saying they would walk to Abuja if President Muhammadu Buhari is re-elected.
President Muhammadu Buhari, being the president of this country for 4 years, he has promised some of the certain things to do for Nigerians, and as a matter of fact, he's able to execute them. So we wanted him to win again for this coming election 2019, and by the grace of God, he has won the election. So we are going there to congratulate him.
I promise that if President Muhammadu Buhari wins for this second tenure for president, The only thing I will do, I will trek from here, from Asaba to Abuja to congratulate him.
The group was in NTA Asaba earlier on Monday, 25th February, when collation of the presidential result was ongoing to make known their mission of embarking on a walk to Abuja to congratulate Mr. President. In Asaba, Odiri Ogboru Arutere, NTA News.
From states in this zone, reactions have continued to trail President Muhammadu Buhari's victory at the polls. We begin with Akure, Ondo State, where the people have listed massive infrastructural development, improved healthcare, and security of lives and property as some of their expectations. Olubumioke has details.
Residents of Akure, Ondo State have been itemizing their expectations from the president.
Strive for 4 years, but at the same time, we want him to do more. The last 4 years is a change. We are both shout for change, but now, next level, we expect a good thing.
They enjoined him to make the issue of security his utmost priority and continue to fight corruption.
I want the incoming government to provide at least free health care for the citizens of this country.
Fix the economy such that prices of things in the market will be reduced.
The respondents are also optimistic that the Buhari-led administration will bring the gains of democracy closer to the downtrodden and intensify efforts at improving the economy as promised during his electioneering activities. In Akure, Olubumi Oke, NT News.
And from Ekiti State, the people are calling on Nigerians to allow President Buhari's victory strengthen the bond of peace and unity for national development. Ayodeji Ogunshakin, it's over to you.
People have been speaking about their expectations from this president-elect for the improved standard of living of Nigerians.
We want to believe that the program he has started, the foundation he has laid for a better Nigeria, will now be given a boost.
We are shouting about this 35% affirmative action because it's only the women that know where shoe pinches, at least for the women.
Once we are at federal, we are at local, we are at state, it means that actually, all the dividend of democracy will trickle down.
What this victory means is that our democratic processes in Nigeria are deepening, that all our aspirations are going to be fulfilled. For example, we have learned that it is better for us to have leaders who are honest.
The respondents enjoined people to be peaceful and avoid anything that could truncate the peace of the nation. In Adekiti, Ayodi Jogushaki, NT News.
Another round of elections, governorship and state houses of assembly are scheduled for next Saturday. Although in Edo there is no governorship election, the people will exercise their civic responsibility in the House of Assembly election. To ensure credibility of the process, the National Orientation Agency is continuing campaign on vote buying and selling and sensitizing the people to the need to maintain peace. Ivie Omori reports.
This is the Benin Central Motor Park. Commercial vehicles plying all parts of the city converge here before they set out. On daily basis, there is high inflow of persons at the park going about their activities. The turnout of elites and non-elites here is high. It is for these reasons the National Orientation Agency visited this park to enlighten the people on vote buying and selling.
Don't sell your vote because of 1,000 naira. Your future, the future of your children, now you can sell when you sell your vote. If you say 1,000, say 5,000, then you go to eat for 4 years. Yeah, see my figure for 4 years, then you say the eater.
The message to the people and prospective electorate is clear.
The House of Assembly election is going to hold in Edo State is very important because that is where the bills come from. They should go out there to go and vote the right choice, but they should not sell their vote.
Amazingly, those whose path crossed with staff of NOA at the sensitization work accepted the message, promising not to sell their votes in subsequent elections.
I don't already make up my mind. I can never collect any money from anybody.
Nobody of it deceive me. I sell my voter card. No way.
Go to the polling unit, vote the person you really want to vote for. Don't collect money from anybody. Vote your conscience.
Same message, say no to vote buying, was taken to traders at Yanga markets and environs. In Benin, Ivie Omoyi, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's over to you, Kende, for the continuation of Nationwide.
Obey. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says building a strong, secured, economic, buoyant and corrupt-free society is the responsibility of all citizens. The minister stated this at a meeting with management staff of the ministry in Abuja. Anthony Forsen reports.
Stressing the point that building an egalitarian society is feasible but will require the contribution of all, the minister was quick to note that the successes achieved so far by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is a manifestation of the support and contribution of well-meaning Nigerians.
I want to implore you to continue to support this administration. The effort put in by each and every one of us goes a long way in making the country a better place.
The minister pointed out that the fight against corruption, the stability in combating insecurity, and deliberate policies put in place to grow the economy alongside its social intervention programs have yielded results. With over 2 trillion naira spent so far on infrastructure alone, the ease of doing business is equally gaining popularity, just as the policy on visa on arrival has also placed Nigeria on a high ranking among the Committee of Nations.
Treasury single account, TSA, whistleblower policy, etc. Of course, good amounts of money as well as property are being recovered from looters.
On food security,
especially in staples such as rice, yam, and cassava. In 2014, we imported 1.2 million metric tons of rice from Thailand alone. Last year, we imported only 20,000 metric tons. We have grown the number of our rice farmers from 5 million to almost 12 million.
Sir, your victory has added so much to the entire victory, overall victory of Mr. President. And so we are very proud of you for that.
In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
Now time to join Suleiman in Kaduna for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Kende, and a warm welcome to Kaduna. 2019 presidential and national assembly elections, persons with disability in Jigawa State have appealed to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to do more by providing specialized facilities for them to exercise their franchise. The group, while oppressing the elections, say those facilities provided are not enough for its teaming members. Rokaya Umar Farouk has the details.
Preparatory to the 2019 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission pledged to provide materials and equipment needed to aid independent voting and people with disabilities. This includes the Braille Guide for the visually impaired, voting procedures for the hearing impaired, and magnifying glasses for the albinos, among others. How did it go for people with disabilities during the just concluded Presidential and National Assembly elections? Shuaibu Adamu Jagawat Ada is the National Vice Chairman of People with Disabilities.
We are calling upon INEC to look into all those promises that it makes to make sure that in the next coming election for the gubernatorial and the House Assembly, let them provide the magnifying glasses for albinos. Let them make sure that all polling units or all polling booths, the polling boxes are being placed at the ground level so that persons with physical disability will be able to go independently and cast their votes.
INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Mahmoud Isa says although the Presidential and National Assembly elections were peaceful, some challenges experienced will not be repeated.
Problem here and there in the pews, we made some cancellation, we made some postponement, not because we wanted, because there was a breach of peace, and we need peace. We need peace to be restored before we can achieve credibility of an election that can be acceptable to the whole world.
The Resident Electoral Commissioner restated the Commission's readiness to provide support needed to achieve independent voting for people with disabilities in the state.
And with few days to the governorship elections, how are Nigerians in Kaduna bracing up? Abdullahi Muhammad captures the mood on the streets.
Rounds of elections have come and gone, and we have seen how so many residents in Kaduna came out in their numbers to exercise their civic responsibility. Women especially, they came in their numbers very early in the morning to join the queue so as they will have the opportunity to cast their ballot. I have with me here Katuk Samuel, who is also a resident of Kaduna. He has also cast his ballot during that election. And let me find out, his opinion, especially as regards to how that election went.
The election was conducted in a very smooth and wonderful way. We give glory to God because of the smooth running of the election. It is one of its kind from all the elections that have been conducted.
Generally, there was peace, particularly for us in Kaduna State here, that the challenges of insecurity and fears of what will happen, at least we had the election peacefully and everything is okay.
In the next couple of days, people of Kaduna will also vote a governor who will continue to administer this state in the next 4 years. There are high hopes among the people I have spoken to.
The governorship election is the election that we, all the masses, all the people are expecting. That is going to be a successful one.
The critical point they have made is that they want this to be as peaceful as the previous one. And most importantly, it must be free, fair and acceptable to all. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTN News.
Many thanks indeed, Abdullah. Operation Python Dance 3 of the Nigerian Army has carried out a free medical outreach in Buruji village of Dogo local government area of Kano State to provide succor to host communities. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The Python Dance 3, which commenced in December 2018, was to address issues relating to cattle rustling, kidnapping, armed banditry, terrorism, among others, in Kano and Jigawa states. The exercise has succeeded in bringing back peace to host communities and environs. This time around, Buruji village in Dogwa local government area benefited from the medical outreach of the Nigerian Army, who are mostly women and elderly.
Our focus really is Mangori Forest, as well as all the local government areas in the two states.
The brigade commander therefore urged the host community not to relent in providing useful information to Army to succeed its operation. District head of Dogwa, Aliyu Harazimi, thanked the Nigerian Army for the gesture. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And that does it from Kaduna. It's back to you, Kende, for more on the Nationwide.
Thank you, Suleiman. Another break beckons. Nationwide returns after this timeout. Do stay with us.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the role of the media in election coverage. Exclusive on the National Broadcasting Commission, its mandate as the sole regulator of Nigerian media. Dr. Toma Daba then and Ishak Modibo Kawu now. This edition also features the king of stand-up comedy in Nigeria, Ali Baba. NTA standards to be ready for election transmission after decades of abandonment. Find out from the DG transactional elections in our political space and evil wind that blows no good. DG, National Orientation Agency, calls for TV Guide, your indispensable companion, x-rays the impact of social media on electioneering process as electorates present their expectations from incoming government. Meet some TV professionals behind the screen and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first. Get it fresh.
Thank you for staying with us. A new Controller General of the Federal Fire Service has been appointed in person of Liman Alhaji Ibrahim, who before his appointment was the Assistant Controller General in charge of Policy, Regulatory and Inspectorate. Now to judiciary matters. The Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Justice Isaac Bello, has implored judicial officers to exhibit diligence, dedication and honesty in discharge of their duties in order to win public confidence and trust for the judiciary. He stated this while inaugurating the FCT Election Petition Tribunal. Aliu Turko reports.
While it is the responsibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct elections, it is the court's mandate to resolve disputes arising from the polls. To effectively carry out this function so that the judiciary will not be used as a tool to truncate the nation's democracy, the FCT Election Petition Tribunal that will look into litigations that may come up from the elections has been inaugurated. The Chief Judge of the FCT High Court urged members of the tribunal to shun corrupt practices and sustain the judiciary's effort to promote transparency and good governance.
They should be very much upright and show courage. They don't have to look over their shoulders before saying this is the position.
We are going to abide by our oath of allegiance and judicial oath that we have sworn to this afternoon, and believe in God that we'll be able to do to all manner of persons that will appear before us.
The tribunal consists of 6-member panel. In Abuja, Aliu Tukuru, NTA News.
The Supreme Court has fixed the 17th of May for judgment in a case instituted by the Cross River State government against the federal government, challenging the suspension of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge. This follows the hearing of argument by the two parties. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
Under Section 231 of the Nigerian Constitution, the Supreme Court, exercising its original jurisdiction, can determine a matter which did not necessarily pass through the lower courts. This matter is one of such. The Cross River State government is in the Supreme Court to seek the interpretation of Sections 4, 5, and 6 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which stipulates separation of powers of the three arms of government. It is also seeking the interpretation for Sections 153 and 158 of the Constitution, which talks about the duties and powers of the National Judicial Council as the sole body responsible to initiate disciplinary actions against judicial officers. But while putting forward the arguments before the court, Solicitor General of the Federation, Dayo Akpata, who represented the federal government, said that the Justice Onoge case does not fall into the areas where the Constitution allows the apex court exercise its original jurisdiction.
What we have done is to inform the court there's no dispute as well, that whatever has happened is personal to my lord, and they cannot invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
But counsel to the Cross River State government held otherwise.
It is particularly targeted at the constitutional safeguards for the separation of powers as reserved in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, particularly with respect to the independence of the judiciary.
Being a constitutional dispute, the Supreme Court was composed of 7 justices led by Justice Bode Rhodes Bible. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Court of Appeal in Calabar has ordered a stay of execution on the Federal High Court's judgment, which led to the delisting of Senator John Owaneno as the gubernatorial flag bearer of the APC by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The ruling was delivered by the presiding judge, Court of Appeal, Calabar Division, Justice Mojid Awade. Justina Etim has a report.
During the proceeding, Justice Owade ordered that the two parties maintain status quo pending the final judgment on the case. Counsel to Senator John Owaneno, Ogbugo Ukoha, speaks on his understanding of the ruling.
The judgment of the Federal High Court has been stayed till the determination of the appeal before the Court of Appeal. In the interim, Senator John Owaneno and Ntufam Ekbokon remain the candidates for the APC. That is very clear.
Counsel to Usani also comments on the ruling.
We're very satisfied with the ruling because it has not harmed anybody. It is a harmless interim measure. So we are satisfied. The major thing is at the hearing. So, and it is in the interest of justice that we expeditiously go into hearing of the matter.
The appellate court adjourned the case to Monday, 4th of March 2019 for hearing. It would be recalled that the Independent National Electoral Commission on Friday, 2nd of February 2019, had delisted names of all APC candidates earlier submitted for the general elections in Cross River State. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
As part of efforts to take more youth off the street, Kogi State Government has flagged off a youth empowerment program in Okene local government area anchored by the State Youth Employment and Social Support Operation. Correspondent Solomon Ayeden has the details.
Gathered in this hall are beneficiaries of the second cycle of Skills for Job component of the State Youth Employment and Social Support Operations, YESO. The 845 youths drawn from Okene local government area are currently undergoing training towards becoming self-employed in various skills of their choice. The initiative is a collaborative effort between Kogi State, federal government, and the World Bank, targeted at reducing poverty and unemployment in the country, while the National Directorate of Employment oversees the training of the participants.
As the same way to ensure our relevant partner, the World Bank, the ND National and the states, that for this state level shall never relent in ensuring that the overall objective is achieved in Kogi State.
Flagging up the program, Governor Yahaya Bello, represented by the Special Advisor to the Governor on SDG, Malam Abdulmumini Okara, restates government's commitment to continue to provide the enabling environment to bring more youths out of the streets and improve their socio-economic development in the state.
It is in the spirit of a sustainable development goal. Don't leave anyone behind. We are not going to leave our youth behind. We are going to train them.
Other stakeholders charge the participants to make the best use of the opportunity.
Government will do all necessary things that will require support. So please take this job serious.
So should take full advantage of it, concentrate.
We are happy and excited for the opportunity given to us to learn skills for future development.
Kogi State is one of the 15 YESO states currently benefiting from the World Bank assistance for the implementation of social safety net initiative geared towards poverty and unemployment reduction in the country. In Okene, I am Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Thank you, Solomon. And Justin Bemwe is standing by with latest stories on the foreign scene.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the news. Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir has delegated his powers as the head of the ruling National Congress Party, NCP, to its recently appointed deputy head, Ahmed Mohamed Haroun. Reports say there have been more than 2 months of widespread protests calling for Mr. Bashir to step down, but he is not giving up his presidential powers. Demonstrations have continued despite a nationwide ban, as at least 30 people are known to have been killed. In the meantime, police in Somalia say a car bomb and gun battle in the capital, Mogadishu, have killed more than 20 people. 40 others were injured by the blast in front of a hotel in the center of the city. Exchanges of gunfire continued throughout the night between police and the suspected Al-Shabaab militants. Away from Africa now, the United States is offering a reward of up to $1 million for information about one of the sons of the late Al-Qaeda leader, Osama bin Laden. Reports from officials say Hamza bin Laden is emerging as a leader of the Islamist militant group. He is thought to be based near the Afghan-Pakistani border. And from Asia comes a report that Bangladesh has told the UN Security Council it will stop accepting any more Rohingya Muslims who flee from Myanmar. Foreign Secretary accused Myanmar of hollow promises during negotiations over returns. More than 740,000 Rohingya are in camps in Bangladesh after they were driven out of Myanmar's Rakhine state during military crackdowns in 2016 and 2017. And that does it from here. Thanks for your time.
And now to sport update. Let's see the latest in the world of sport.
Nigeria Super Falcons defeated Slovakia 4-3 in their second group game at the ongoing International Women's Cyprus Cup on Friday. A brace from Rita Chikwelu and a goal each from Osinachi Ohale and Anam Imo gave the African champions the deserved win. Nigeria will next play Belgium in their third group game on Monday. After failing to qualify straight from the African qualifying series, Nigeria's national 3x3 basketball team now have a second opportunity to qualify for the FIBA 3x3 World Cup 2019 in Amsterdam, Netherlands from June 18 to 23. Nigeria, currently ranked 10 in Africa and 76th in the world, has been grouped alongside France, Germany and Italy in Group A of the second qualification series, holding May 4 to 5 in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The Africans are the least ranked in Group A, but team captain Abdul Yahaya is optimistic of winning and progressing to the World Cup. Meanwhile, Sports Minister Solomon Dalung has joined stakeholders in paying tributes to the immediate past president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, Yusuf Dauda, who was buried on Thursday in Mina, the Niger State capital.
I know my father will be remembered for his good deeds.
He has given a lot to sports in Nigeria when it comes to football, handball.
The late sports administrator was at the time a member of the Confederation of African Handball Commission and passed on aged 61. Sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And before we go, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather picture across the country. And that's all on Nationwide. Please stay with NTA for more news updates and more programs. Thank you for watching. Good evening.